type in hashtag replay just so I know that you're watching.
Property guru George Markoski from Positive Property Solution joins us now. George, good morning to you.
How are you, George?
You've got to hang out with guys like George who know the numbers. Get the real numbers, the facts. Because I can talk to you about cash flow and all those things. George is better at that than me. The thing I'm ecstatic about George, he is a hardcore teacher. He really wants you to learn.
Okay guys, we've got 10 seconds left. Can't wait to show you a great, amazing session tonight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello. Hi there. George Markoski here, and welcome to Australian Property Investors. So, hello, if you can hear me, please type in hashtag live. If you're watching live, and if you're watching the replay, type in hashtag replay. Now, I'm going to talk about something controversial at the moment, very controversial. And Happy New Year to George and team. Thank you so much. And what I'm going to be talking about today is I'm going to be talking about why today is the right time to buy property. Now, I'm saying the exact opposite to everyone else there. So I want you to hear me out because, you know, I've been investing for a long time. I've been investing for, over 25 years in property. And I know a thing about or two when it comes to property because I've actually got my MBA when it comes to property investing. And I don't know if you know what an MBA is, but an MBA is, who knows what an MBA is? Please type in the chat because we can see if you know what it is. It's actually a massive bank account, not a master business, because that's the real thing you can get when you're investing in property. That's the real McCoy, if you know if you're good or not. So why is everyone saying now's the worst time? Master of Business Administration. Thank you very much. That's what a normal MBA is. Yes. Tonight we're talking about MBA, the real MBA in real life, not just a piece of paper, but a massive bank account. So why is today a good time to invest? If anyone's got any ideas, let me know. Do you think it's a good time or do you think it's a bad time? Let me know. Type in the chat because I'd love to hear what you've got to say. Because let's face it, the rates are going up. Interest rates are high. Properties are negative now. Even a lot of the properties that we're getting that were positive now are negative. And a lot of people are scared in the marketplace at the moment and they expect one or two more rate hikes. And the RBA is saying that the people in property in the $900,000 mark could be in trouble because of the extra rate stuff. Right? So that's what we're talking about. Now, if you heard of the guy called Warren Buffett, right? Warren Buffett is a very, very good investor. And, he's one of the best. That's the fact of it. And Warren Buffett, what he says, when everyone else is greedy, you should be fearful. When everyone else is fearful, you should be greedy. All right? So, a lot of people went nuts in Melbourne, Sydney during the pandemic. That's the fact of it. People went crazy. And, I think that when it comes to buying property and answering the question, is it a good time to buy? Basically, the answer is it depends if you know what you're doing or not. Because if you know what you're doing, it's always a good time to buy. And if you don't know what you're doing, well, then it's not the best time to buy. So I think that's probably a better way of looking at things than just looking at, is it a good time or a bad time? But with interest rates going down, there's a lot of people now that are holding off because they're worried. They're worried that because of interest rates, they're not going to be able to afford it. And, they're not sure what's going on. And there's a lot of uncertainty. And at the end, if you don't know what you're doing, probably not the best time to invest right now. But if you know what you're doing, it's always a good time. That's the fact of it. And that's what I want to talk about now because it's interesting. When the market sentiment is this low, that means basically at the moment there's a deeply depressed property sentiment. Right? And this typically matches the bottoms in price cycles. So I don't think that price falls are over because there are 1 or 2 rate hikes arrive, and the fixed rate reset can cause havoc. But after that happens, there's only one way for price to go back, and that's the important thing. So once interest rates start going down and price start going up, what's everyone going to do? They're going to do what they always do, and that is jump into the market, right, and just do what they normally do. And what we would have done, I think I can see it. Let me just move one of my avatars. Here we go, remove. So here we go. I'm back. I don't know if you can see that, guys. I had a bit of a technical difficulty, but I'm back, which is the main thing. So this is the interesting thing. Westpac reckons now is a good time to buy because things are going to go up again, which is very fascinating. Now, this is the interesting thing. CoreLogic recently released the numbers for home values in Melbourne, right? And they've fallen 8.9% from their peak, right? Which means they're basically back to where they were before COVID. So that's interesting. So what I'd like to do, guys, now is I'd like to introduce you to our contracts manager, our success manager, Billy. She's coming live with us from Queensland because I like showcasing some of our amazing staff on here. So I'm just going to introduce her. Hey, Billy, how are you?
Hi, everybody. How are we tonight?
Really well. If anyone wants to say hello in the chat, I'll open up the chat so we can see people. But yes, so Billy, welcome there. We're just talking about the bottom of the market because at the moment, market sentiment has been the worst it's ever been when it comes to property. Funny enough, Melbourne has gone back to the same price as it was pre-pandemic. So all those gains that were made are back. And most people at the moment are being very cautious when it comes to investing in property because, you know, what I hear out there all the time is people are saying, I want to wait for interest rates to go down before I invest. And you probably hear that a lot as well.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when everyone else is saying, I want to wait for interest rates to go down, that's the time where you need to get involved in property because it's a big build-up of all these people waiting around. And then what's going to happen is once interest rates go down, they're all going to jump in and start buying, which is going to push the market up for the second massive boom. Because all you got to do is look at history. Mark Twain, he says, history never repeats, but it does rhyme. And if we look at what happened during COVID, this is the exact same thing that happened during COVID. COVID hit. Everyone's like, oh, I'm not going to buy now because I'm not sure because of COVID. I'm going to wait till after COVID to buy. And then as COVID was finishing, people started buying and pushing the market up because there's so much pent-up demand. And now we're going through the same motions over and over again. And I've been seeing this happen over the last 25 years, over and over and over, where, you know, the smart investors, they're going in and buying at the right time and just continue buying, where the people that are worried about all sorts of stuff that's happening in the market overthink it and they wait for everyone else to join in and they dive in. And that's why, you know, 95% of people do. I think it's 70% of people who invest in property lose money, 2/3, because they don't know what they're doing. So you've been around property for a long time, Billy.
Yeah, a few years.
Yep. And, you know, so quite a long time in the industry. And what's the one thing you've noticed about property prices since you started in the industry? How long have you been doing property for? How long have you been involved?
I've been with real estate for about 8 years. So I've seen it from when it was quite low to where it was more of a buyer's market And then right up to the point where we have just experienced where it's the seller's market, name your price, and up to date it would sell. So I think we're just coming off the back end of that. So prices are coming back to a little bit more realistic. So yeah, there's been lots of ups and downs with it over the last couple of years.
Absolutely, totally. And yeah, certainly prices are not dropping, but easing off. In some capital cities, they're dropping. It's interesting. At the moment, there was a lot of students overseas, actually 50,000, that the government said, unless you're in person, you can't get your degree. So now they're all going to be coming to Australia, another 50,000 students that were studying overseas. So that's even more people coming, which is crazy.
And they need somewhere to live.
Well, yes. And the funny thing is, what they find is for every immigrant that we get, for every 3 immigrants that we get, we need 1 dwelling for them to live in. On average, there's 3 people to a property. So, and Australia at the moment, we're getting around about 200,000 per year of people immigrating. Plus, on top of that, we've got international students on top of that, because they're not immigrating, they're just coming here and living here. But it doesn't matter why you're coming to Australia, you still need somewhere to live. Not everyone's going to long grass it, and that's just the way it is. So it's interesting. Now, what I want to talk about, guys, today is we're launching our 5-day test drive next week. There's a lot of people out there have been saying, George, I've heard about your program. I'm not sure if I want to spend the money. What's it about? And it's hard to explain what something's about unless you actually go in there and do it. I mean, I could explain. What we do is we help people get involved in property, and at the end of the day, their goal is to replace their income through property, and that's what we specialize in. We do this day in, day out. But for a lot of people out there that are listening, you're probably or watching, depends where you are on the podcast or if you're on the live on the Facebook, you're probably wondering, what's this all about? What do these people do? So what I'm going to do for the first time ever, I've never done this before, I'm actually going to be pulling back the curtain and showing you what happens day to day when you become a member of Positive Property. And we're going to do 5 days starting next Monday. And I've only got a limited amount of people because of the hands-on nature of this. And me and my team will go live every single night. So I'm going to be working quite a bit next week just to show you the experience of what's happening. Now, if anyone is interested, I've still got a handful of tickets left. Type in #test drive and our team will reach out to you and send you a link if you want to register. It's going to be fun, but also I've got another surprise. A good mentor friend of mine is going to be coming on board as well. And I think I've got him coming on this Saturday, and that's Robert Kiyosaki. Who's a big fan of Robert Kiyosaki? I mean, he is the number one, expert on financial freedom in the entire world. You can't get better than that. And it's pretty exciting that he's going to come and join us. So not only do you get to test drive what we do, you also get to hang out with Robert, which is pretty cool. And, Robert, he gets paid a lot of money to do a lot of this sort of stuff. So it's pretty cool. So I'm excited about that, which is awesome. And I love doing work with Robert. Last year, Robert and I did a big workshop, a full day, and it kicked ass. We had 4,000 people register for this event last January. It was pretty huge. This one's going to be a test drive, so it's going to be quite small, but we're probably looking at doing a bigger thing later on in the year when I go to the States. Because Robert at the moment, he's in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm going to be going up to Hawaii, which is where he normally comes from. I'm trying to organize if he wants to meet up with me in Hawaii. Otherwise, I might have to go and see him in Phoenix. At the end of the day, I got to go where he wants to go, but I'm sure he might like coming to Hawaii. Could be fun. So that's what's happening. And so it's interesting because now that housing prices are sort of stabilized, it's fascinating because you look at back just before the GFC, the difference between Perth and Sydney was $1,000 per square meter for a property, right? And now the difference is massive because Perth's done nothing and Sydney's over $1 million median house price. And What I like to do when I do my sort of due diligence when I'm looking at properties, I like to make sure that I'm actually looking at where there's a gap in the market. So if Perth and Sydney were $1,000 per square metre difference, but now there's a massive difference, then that almost says that Perth is probably going to go up a little bit because it's undervalued. Right? And then you look at Canberra, $1 million at the moment, and Canberra used to be the same price as Perth, and now it's nearly double the price of Perth. So you'd probably say maybe a little bit expensive, And then Hobart's quite expensive as well. So at the moment, if you guys want to know where I'm looking for properties, hi George, I registered for my ticket a couple of weeks ago. Still haven't heard anything. That's okay. We're sending. Okay. Should have had an email go out this week. If my team can reach out to you, team, can you talk to this person and see what they're doing? Because on my platform, I can't see your name. All I've got is Facebook user. So I'm not trying to be rude. I'd love to see your name. It'd be good if we could have some people's names on here. It'd be great. So now I've lost my concentration. Here we go. Let's go back. So at the moment, if you want to know where we're investing, there's three main places that I feel that are very undervalued. And that's Brisbane, Adelaide, and Perth. They really haven't done what Melbourne and Sydney have done. Melbourne and Sydney have gone through the roof. And so the cool thing is now I reckon they're going to bounce back and catch up. Because what's happening is people in Sydney and Melbourne are selling their house, moving to Brisbane, and then buying two properties at the same price. You've probably heard about that, Billy.
Yeah, Brisbane has started to increase, which is nice. It's nice to see the prices going up.
Yep, but also there's a lot of people moving Gold Coast and Brisbane from Melbourne and Sydney. You've probably met some people. I don't know. I hear about it all the time. A lot of our members have done it. Funny enough, my EA Alicia, she's moved from Adelaide to Brisbane as well. So there's a big sea change there. If you want to read out the messages, and I'll do that.
Sure. We have someone in Perth I'm in Perth and would like to talk to someone, please. So you might want to reach out to us with a name.
Yep, if we could have our team to reach out, our team might be able to reach out. But look, if you're Perth, you'd like to talk to someone, I suggest you type in #test drive and check out the test drive, and then you can talk to people that are actually on the program. Because during this program, a lot of our members are going to be on there as well, and you're going to get to meet them. And I'm going to be going through some interesting topics, and what I'll do is I'll get those topics for you, because I think that could be interesting for people to tell them what's happening. While I look for these topics, I'll let you take over. Test drive. Five-day test drive. Here we go. You think I know the topics off by heart, but it's good to sort of write them down.
Thank you for the test drives. There's a few coming through.
Excellent. Okay, so this is what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to be looking at people. I'm going to be showing exactly. I'm going to help you work out exactly how much money you've got. And then I'm going to show you how much you need to save to get there by the age you want to get there, and then how long it's going to last you for. And one of the reasons I do this is because when I do this, people are shocked, because 98% of people in Australia retire dead broke. And when you see the figures of how much you need to save to replace your income, it's terrible. And this is the thing. I really believe that one good property or portfolio can determine your family life, the school your kids go to, the car you drive, the house you live in, the holidays, your health, everything in life, because we live in a capitalist society. And if you haven't done this already, if you haven't replaced your income through property, I really suggest that should be your number one goal. Because once you've done that and you've got passive income coming in every week, every month, every year, whether you're sleeping or waking, working or awake, that is the key. And that's part of what we'll do in our test drive, is show people how to replace your income through property. So step one, we're going to show you how much you've got. You're going to work it out. So an exercise. So this is not one of those things where you just sit back and watch us talk and Zoom. No, you're going to actually have to do some work. You have to roll your sleeves up and do some work and really work things out. But at the end of these 5 days, I promise you, you're going to have $1 million game plan on exactly how to get the properties you need and how many you need to replace your income through property and get there, which is pretty exciting. And then day 2, we're going to talk about how to fix your credit, budgeting, and how to buy a property with no cash deposit if you haven't got cash. And then Christina's going to go through the putting your portfolio on autopilot and how to do that so you don't have to lift a finger. And then I'm going to be going through protecting your empire, asset protection, and how to keep yourself safe. I mean, what's the point of building an empire if you can't protect yourself? And asset protection, a lot of people forget about that. But after America, Australia is the second most litigious country in the world. We get sued more than anyone else. So, and once you start building a property empire, you start becoming loaded. They get a target on your back. So you need to really start the right thing. We'd explain, when you buy a property, do you buy it in your name? Do you buy it in your wife's name? Do you buy it dual? Do you get it in a trust or a company? Do you need a hybrid trust? How's that going to affect the tax and your cash flow? And how's it going to affect your capital gains? All that sort of stuff we go through, because you need to be clear on that before you start. And then we're going to be talking about rapid mortgage reduction, and we're going to be showing you how you can cut your mortgage in half. But we're also going to be showing you how some of our members on our program have paid off their mortgage in as little as 3 to 4 years. And then on day 6, I'm getting Robert Kiyosaki in, and we're going to have the graduation, and we're going to be showing you a lot of good stuff. So that is the test drive in a nutshell. So guys, if you want to do the test drive, type in #test drive, because this is probably your last opportunity, because next Sunday we start and that's it. Once the doors close, they close. I don't think I'm ever going to do this again, because it takes a lot of effort. And if I have to come and present, every night to you guys for free, it's a lot of effort, because I'm not charging a cent. But so if you want to do it, this is the time to do it, because you may not get another chance. This is probably the last time, the first time and the last time. So, and this is the thing. I mean, I really think, if you want to make 2023 the best year of your life, if you want to make some changes, if you want to really kick it this year, I would say the 5-day test drive would be the most valuable 5 sessions you've ever had in your entire life. And I'm not over-exaggerating, I'm under-exaggerating. That's how important this is. You should do something your future self will thank you for. So that's it. So why today is the right time to buy property? Well, let me summarize. The right time to buy property right now is because, as Warren Buffett says, you've got to do the opposite to what everyone else is doing. So everyone else out there is waiting for interest rates to go down. They're a bit concerned about the property market. The property market's softened up. So there's a lot of bargains to be had and a lot of properties to get, which is great. And the fact of it is, once they start going up again, it's going to be very, very difficult. See, a lot of people over the last couple of years during COVID found it impossible to buy property because there just was nothing available. And, even if you want to buy property, if you can't buy it, you can't buy it. So that's why now is a really good time, as long as you know what you're doing, you know how to pick the top 200 suburbs, you know how to work out the cash flow, and then you can move forward. So what I want to do is just say thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you so much. We're very grateful for you, and all our followers on Facebook, in our group, YouTube, on our podcast. We've got lots of people everywhere from around the world, and mainly in Australians, but we've got people from around the world. So just want to say thank you so much. We're going to be here, well, me or the team are going to be here every week, 6:05 Australian Eastern Standard Time. I've got those times right, Billy, now, so it's great.
Yes, you do, yes.
So
you're an hour behind me.
Yep, that's it. Well,
Yeah.
That's pretty good, actually, because normally when you go from Brisbane to Adelaide, you've got to wind back your clock 1 hour and 23 years, but now it's only 1 hour, so it's okay. No worries.
It's good.
Well, we're going to go to our SHERP. We're going to go to our private group where we show people how to do these things. So me and Billy have to go. Billy, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you at the SHERP.
Okay. Keep the test drives coming in, and make sure you put your hand up for the 5-day test.
No worries. And team,
it'll make a big difference.
Yep, team, if you could please respond to the test drives, that'd be great. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.